Okay, so we're going to go through 8-4 multiplying special cases. Number 1 says to find the product. So let's take a closer look at it. Okay, so it is asking you to find the product. Now there is a shortcut when it is a binomial times a binomial that's identical, meaning like this binomial squared. So what we do is, first step is to take the first term and square it. So we have x squared. Then what we do is we multiply the two terms together and multiply that by 2. So negative 3 times x is negative 3. Double that, you'll get negative 6x. Then what we do is we square the last term, so that will be plus 9. And that's my answer. So let's type it in. So we have x squared minus 6x plus 9. That is number 1. Number 2, we're going to multiply using a special product formula. So let's take a look at that. Alright, so what we have here are two binomials where the first term and second terms are the same except there's a sign difference. So these are both 4x, these are both 9, but this one's negative and this one's positive. So all we do is we multiply the first two terms together, which gives us 16x squared, and then we multiply the last two terms together, which gives us negative 81. And that's it. Because when we have same terms but different signs, there is no middle term. So this is just going to be the answer. So 16x squared minus 81. So typing in, we have 16x squared minus 81. That's number 2. Number 3 is asking you to multiply. So let's take a look. So when we have a binomial being squared, like number 1, we would start by squaring the first term and getting, in this case, x squared. Then we multiply the two terms together and double it. So it'll be 8x times 2, which is 16x. And then you square the last term, which gives you 64. So my answer is going to be x squared plus 16x plus 64. So typing it in, I have x squared plus 16x plus 64. And that's number 3. Number 4, we are asked to find the product. So let's do that. So when we have a binomial being squared, the shortcut would be, like we said, square the first term. So 9x being squared would be 81x squared. Then we multiply the two terms together and double it, so that would be 27x times 2, which will be 54x. Then we square the last term, which gives us 9. So my answer is going to be 81x squared plus 54x plus 9. So let's type that in. So we have 81x squared plus 54x plus 9. And that's number 4. Number 5, it says multiply using the rule for the square of a binomial. So that's what we just did. So let's do it for this one. So the first step would be to square the first term. So that will be x squared. Then we multiply the two terms together and double it. So that would be negative 12x, double, which will be negative 24x. Then we square the last term, which gives us 144. So my answer is going to be x squared minus 24x plus 144. So let's type that in. So we have x squared minus 24x plus 144. And that's number 5. Alright, number 6, it is asking you to multiply. So let's take a closer look at it. Okay, so we again have a binomial being squared. So the trick is to first square the first term. So 4x being squared is 16x squared. Then we multiply the two terms together. We'll get negative 28x. Doubled is negative 56x. Then square negative 7, you'll get positive 49. So my answer is going to be 16x squared minus 56x plus 49. So let's type that in. Typing that in, I have 16x squared minus 56x plus 49. So number 7. A square purple rug has a red square in the center. The side length of the red square is x inches. The width of the purple band that surrounds the red square is 5 inches. What is the area of the purple band? So let's take a look at it. So the first thing we need to do is draw out the squares. So we have the red square in the middle with the square purple rug. So we're told that the length of the red square is x inches. Remember, squares have all the same length, so each side is x. For the purple square, that we don't know, but we do know that the width of the band here all the way around it is 5 inches. Okay? Now, that means the entire length of the purple square would be this x plus these two 5 inches for the width of the band. So we have 5 plus x plus 5, which gives me x plus 10. 5 plus x plus 5 is x plus 10. So all the sides of the purple square is going to be x plus 10. Now the area of a square is that side squared. So now we substitute in our length in for s. So we have x plus 10 squared. So now we got to do out the shortcut that we learned. So we start by squaring the first term and we get x squared. Then we multiply these two together and double it and get 20x. And then we square the last term and get 100. So the area of the purple rug is going to be x squared plus 20x plus 100. Okay, so now to find the area of the purple band, we got to subtract the area of the red square from it. The red square is just going to be x squared because it's this x times the other side length, which is x times x, which is x squared. So we're going to subtract the area of the whole purple square from the red square. So we're going to subtract this area from this area. The x squares cancel out, and we're just left with 20x plus 100. So your answer is going to be 20x plus 100. So let's type that in. So we have 20x plus 100. That's number 7. Number 8, you're being asked to find the product. So let's take a look at it. So to find the product, notice how the terms are the same in each binomial except the signs are different. So that means all we got to do is multiply the first two terms together, which gives us x squared here, and multiply the last two terms together, which gives us negative 4. And that's going to be our answer. So let's type it in. So we have x squared minus 4. That's number 8. Number 9, same thing. Let's take a look at it. So we multiply the first two terms and we get x squared. Then we multiply the last two terms, we get negative 49. So our answer is going to be x squared minus 49. So let's type that in. So we have x squared minus 49. Number 10, same thing. Let's take a look at it. So we multiply the first two terms together, we get 4. Multiply the last two terms together, we get negative z squared. So your answer is going to be 4 minus z squared. So let's type it in. So we have 4 minus z squared. And that is number 10. Number 11, it says to multiply. So let's take a look at it. So when we have a binomial being squared, the shortcut is square the first term. So 7x being squared is 49x squared. Then you multiply the two terms together and double it. So we'll have 7x times y, which is 7xy, doubled is 14xy. Then we square the last term and we get y squared. So my answer is going to be 49x squared plus 14xy plus y squared. So let's type it in. We have 49x squared plus 14xy plus y squared. That's number 11. Number 12, we are again looking for the product, so let's do that. So again, when we're squaring a binomial, we square the first term first, so we get x squared. Then we multiply the two terms together and double it, so we have 2xy times 2, which is 4xy. Then we square the last term, and we get 4y squared. So my answer is going to be x squared plus 4xy plus 4y squared. So let's put that in. So we have x squared plus 4xy plus 4y squared. That's number 12. Number 13, it says multiply using one of the rules for the square of a binomial. So let's do that. So we start by squaring the first term, which is 5x, and squaring that gives you 25x squared. Then we multiply the two terms together, which is negative 35xy, and we double that, and we get negative 70xy. Then you square the last term, which will give you positive 49y squared. So my answer will be 25x squared minus 70xy plus 49x squared, or y squared. Let's type that in. So we have 25x squared minus 70xy plus 49y squared, which is number 13. Number 14, it says to multiply using a special product formula. So let's do that. So since these are both the same for the terms, just different signs, we multiply the first two terms together, we get 16c squared, and then we just multiply the last two terms together, we get negative 36d squared. And that is my answer, so let's type it in. So I have 16c squared minus 36d squared. That is number 14.